What's going on, guys? So I have something kind of interesting I want to show you today. So you may be familiar with a product called a hunting camera. A hunting camera is essentially a camera that you hang on a tree or you hang out in an area that you might go hunting, and it takes pictures whenever motion goes by. So if there are deer or anything walking by, you can kind of monitor if they're in the area. A lot of people use them around the home or around property if they have a large piece of property to monitor if there's intruders or wild animals like coyotes, bobcats, things like that if they're getting onto the property, and they work really well. Some of them have solar charging capabilities built into them, but a lot of them don't, and you have to recharge the battery that's in them. What I'm about to show you is specifically designed, I think, for that. But I'm going to show you a different way of using it. What you see over here is something I already have that's kind of similar, but not. And I'm going to explain this in greater detail. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so let's start off with this right here. This right here is a portable power station with built-in solar charging panel. This is really cool. I think the only thing I don't care for about this is, even though it's relatively modern, it still utilizes a micro USB connection and not USB-C, which to me is kind of a bummer. I wish it had USB-C, and I'm sure by now there are other flavors of this on the market that have a USB-C connection. But this is primarily designed if you're going to go camping, or you're going to go to the beach, or you're just going to be out working perhaps. You need a way to charge your phone, and you want a way to recharge the battery that's built in here. So again, think portable power station, but with an onboard solar charging capability. Now, this also has a flashlight on it, and you have two USB plus a micro USB connection right here. This is pretty cool, and this claims that it has 42,800 milliamps worth of stored power. I don't know if that's exactly true because it's not really heavy enough, in my opinion, to have that type of stored power. That said, very, very popular item, especially kind of like a semi-survival tool kind of thing you can keep in your glove box, in your toolbox, in your vehicle, under your seat, in case you need it. And this has come in handy on a few occasions for me. Now, next to it is something that is kind of revolutionary. This is more game-changing than anything. What this is essentially something like this, but this is designed to live outdoors. It actually has a bracket that comes with it, so you can mount it on a wall, on a tree, on whatever you need to mount it to, and it comes with several cables and a USB-C cable. Why is this groundbreakingly different? Well, mainly because this gives you a much more form function specific tool that gives you a big solar panel on here, plus the capability of charging other items with an onboard battery. So this has a 12,000 milliamp onboard battery. It supports USB-C input and output, basically your 5 volt, 3 amp input or output for charging this via like a wall connection, or charging something else via this. 12 volt output as well at 1.5 amps, or 6 volt output at 2 amps. So what is really, really cool about this is that it gives you a much larger solar charging surface. And the reason why I got this is because I actually have a camera that requires power, and I don't have any way of getting power to it where it's at. So I thought about just going with like a conventional solar panel. The problem is, if it's not sunny outside, then I'm going to be relying purely on the sun to be able to charge the battery in this camera that I have. Whereas this gives me a battery on board, a 12,000 milliamp battery, plus a large solar panel and a mounting bracket. Now, why this is kind of game-changing is because if you are RVing, if you have a trailer, if you have a truck, and you're trying to get power in an area where you conventionally can't get power, now you have the ability to charge a very large 12,000 milliamp battery. You have your USB-C as well as your 12 volt outlet, and you have all sorts of different types of power connections here to be able to feed power to whatever you're trying to power. And it has a battery on board, so even if there's not sun, as long as this battery is charged, whether you charged it with the sun via solar or whether you charged it with a power outlet, you now have portable power with a solar panel, with a good size solar panel to charge what you're trying to charge. That is really cool, and this again is a lot different than something like this. This isn't designed to live outside. It has kind of a semi-rugged look to it, but again, cosmetically speaking, this is designed to live in a backpack, right? This is designed to pull out and use if you need to use it, if you are in a situation where you need emergency power, solar power, or a light. This right here is purposely built to live outside in the elements with an onboard battery, with the ability to power stuff. And it even has some bolt patterns on the bottom here if you want to attach it to a bracket. And maybe you don't want to use this plastic mounting bracket that comes with it. Perhaps you want to put an L bracket or something like that and attach it to the side of a building, attach it to your toolbox, attach it to a boat, attach it to a trailer. Again, a lot of functionality here to be able to get power to a camera, maybe to get power to some type of a alarm system, to a sensor, to a modem, whatever you need to get power to. This will probably help you tremendously. I could even see this being used as a means to power up like tracking systems or different types of monitoring systems that typically don't have power unless power is being supplied to them via the engine running. So really, really cool product. I will put a link in the description of this video because it is super affordable for what it is. To be able to pay what you pay to get this, in my opinion, is pretty dang awesome. So again, I will put a link in the description of this video if this is something you're interested in, and go check it out. And I think there's a lot of folks who automatically know the type of use cases that something like this would definitely fit. And honestly, when I saw this, and I specifically saw that it had USB-C input and output plus 12 volt plus 6 volt, I was like, man, I got to get my hand on that because there are several things that I could absolutely immediately use this for. Again, guys, I will put a link in the description of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you think this is as cool as I do. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.